Coming up on AgweekTV, the COVID crisis hurts livestock prices, which puts a different spin on the value and cost of manure. With the backup of cattle in the country, the industry pushes for a set-aside program. And new ag graduates hit a snag finding jobs during the COVID-19 pandemic. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The COVID-19 pandemic caused unprecedented disruptions to the U.S. meat processing sector, slowing livestock marketings. Market analysts estimate over 1 million head of cattle are backed up and gaining weight in feedlots. This has the industry looking at a legislative fix as part of a second COVID aid package. To alleviate the logjam of cattle, the industry is proposing a unique set-aside program, paying producers to put cattle on maintenance diets for 75 days.
They would be paid, the number that's thrown out there is $2.90 per head per day, and those cattle would go on a maintenance diet so they aren't gaining a lot of weight during that time period, and would maintain them for that time period.
The hope is it gives processors time to return to normal capacity and allows cattle to be marketed slowly, as it may take until September to work through the backlog.
We want to be able to manage if we're behind on marketings. We want a tool other than euthanasia. We think it's important from the optic that we're here to feed the hungry, and we know there's hungry people in the world. So to destroy food is not something we would embrace at this point.
The set-aside would be part of the HEROES Act with a cost of around $300 million.
It's not a real high-dollar program.
Stillwater says the set-aside is gaining momentum, but not all cattlemen agree with the approach.
We know that we've got to get through it. Let's get through it. Let's not artificially slow it down and drag it out. Let's just, bite the bullet and get it over with.
The program also lacks a congressional sponsor. Senator Mike Rounds understands the problem, but says it's a fine line to walk with consumers.
But to the consumer, they're seeing this as a shortage of product. And so we've got to be a little bit careful about how we phrase that and how we work that through, because we've got to be able to explain to folks that we're not trying to slow down the production because we've got too much getting to them.
He also thinks USDA should address the issue with existing programs. Cattle producers are currently lobbying Congress to have the set-aside included in the HEROES Act. This year, heavier weight cattle will be even more susceptible to heat stress during the dog days of summer. SDSU's Warren Rushi says heavy cattle are set up for the perfect storm with the current hot temperatures and more on the way, especially black-hided animals.
Cattle that are heavier now, and we know, just on USDA carcass weights that we're running 40 pounds ahead of last year. So that's meaning we're a significant amount of live weight heavier than normal.
So even though they've acclimated to the heat, they'll need to be closely monitored for stress. And Rushi warns heavy cattle may feel the effects at lower temperatures and humidity than cattle at normal weights.
Yeah, it would. Simply because as that animal's mass increases, their ability to dissipate heat goes down, just because think of it this way, they're just a bigger furnace.
Longer-term investments include adding shades or a sprinkler system, but they can be costly. A retired Wilmot, South Dakota farmer is taking it upon himself to push for higher ethanol blends. Supporters of increasing blends of ethanol and gasoline from 10% to 30% used an advertising campaign to gain the attention of President Trump during his trip to Mount Rushmore over the Independence Day holiday. Ori Swayze would like to see that and much more. He has been buying his own newspaper ads trying to generate support for ethanol fuel. But instead of stopping at 30%, which is controversial in itself, he wants to go to 50%. Swayze was one of a handful of South Dakota corn leaders who lobbied for an oil pipeline tax in the 1980s. Before expiring in 2010, it generated $14 million a year, and half went to support ethanol.
The sales tax we passed can take agriculture far beyond where we are. We can go to E50 easy. All you have to do is tax petroleum.
Ethanol blends of 16% to 84% are formally illegal, in part because of concerns for older model standard vehicles. Iowa Senator Tina Smith, a member of the Senate Ag Committee, is pushing hard to make sure more than 50 so-called gap year small refinery exemption requests get denied. She says oil refiners behind the petitions are not living up to their legal obligations under the Renewable Fuels standard. This is hurting ethanol plants and corn farmers, and she says there needs to be more transparency at EPA. EPA Administrator Andrew Wheeler acknowledged last week there have been issues with the gap year waiver request, but he has yet to make a determination. Governors and biofuels groups have also been pushing the administration to fix this issue, plus reinstate ethanol volumes lost due to small refinery waivers granted the past few years. Weather has made it a difficult year for weed control in North Dakota. In the east, the beginning of the season was very wet, so farmers got a late start and were unable to do much tillage. Certain types of resistant weeds also emerged earlier, with water hemp in a few fields in late April. In western North Dakota, some farmers have been seeing drought-like conditions. NDSU weed specialist Joe Eichley says that can make weeds tougher to control.
So we battled some wet, cold conditions, battled some wind, and then with the heat, we've had some weeds harden off, some difficulty with post-emergence herbicides because of that. Picking the right time to make a herbicide application and getting those applied in a timely fashion has been difficult for many.
Eichley has seen a rising number of farmers using generic herbicide options to cut down on costs because of low market prices. He says tillage is still the best option for fields with resistant weeds. Coming up on AgweekTV, tough times in agriculture mean changes for a manure hauling business.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
When planting season comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. This spring, keep your planters rolling with a user-friendly seed tender from North Star Ag. We have seed tenders for every size operation from Meridian, Unverferth, and J&M. North Star Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used inventory or give us a call.
When you think about it, productivity starts at planting. So it's time to rethink how productive your planter can be. We did with the new Case IH 2000 Series Early Riser Planter. We rethought your row unit so it's tougher, more accurate. We rethought your meter, took the most precise technology, factory installed it. We rethought every inch of the Case IH Early Riser Planter to make it the most productive planter around. And if you think about it, that's exactly what you want.
Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. A tight farm labor market in the cattle business has increased the need for custom manure hauling on livestock farms. But market disruptions caused by COVID-19 have reduced how much producers are able to pay for the service. Mikkel Pates has more in this week's Agweek cover story.
My phone rings constantly, except for this year.
Bart Johnson's manure hauling business has been growing because of a tighter labor market, but the COVID pandemic has put a kink in the trend.
The cattleman is not calling to have their manure hauled right now because of the COVID and the bad prices, they're just pushing that manure up into piles. They're not going to spend any money right now if they don't have to. It's tough right now. We're just surviving is all we're doing.
Bart Johnson's family quit crop farming in the 80s, but he remained in the cattle business. And about 15 years ago, he started hauling manure.
I saw an opportunity where maybe a guy could make a little bit of living money. It started out as just a little bit of living money, and it turned into a full-time deal.
As demand increased, Johnson invested in bigger and more specialized equipment to apply the manure more precisely.
If you can't get it to where it needs to be, it's having a full tank of gas in a car that don't run. It's pointless.
John Sayanga and his wife Amber operate a feedlot and cow-calf operation near Miller, South Dakota. Because of the pandemic, Sayanga this year will strictly budget how many loads Johnson will haul. Johnson sees this for other customers too, but is sure of long-term growth in the business.
The manure has value. It's not just getting rid of the manure in the field, it's putting the manure out there so it can be used as a fertilizer. The farmers like it because we're in and we're out.
They want it mapped out. They want it heavier in certain areas or lighter in certain areas. We have the GPS on there so we can monitor what's going on and how much is coming out and where we've been, and there's just a lot more science to it than just grandpa loading it up and you just go out and go as fast as you can and just dump it.
Guys we haul for, they're not customers, they're not numbers, they're friends.
So a manure handling company that helps farmers with labor issues is not likely to run out of work anytime soon. For Agweek, this is Mickle Pates near Miller, South Dakota.
And you can read much more about this story in the next Agweek magazine or at agweek.com. While many events have been canceled this summer due to COVID-19, the American International Junior Charolais Association held their 2020 Junior National Show last week. State's bid for the show in Brookings, South Dakota served as the host site. Deciding to hold the show with the pandemic in place required the board to consider the status of every state participating. It didn't affect attendance, and entries were actually up slightly for the Junior National Show.
We have around 600 exhibitors here, adult and juniors, that are representing 28 to 30 states. We will exhibit around 600 head of cattle across 2 days.
She says they also held their leadership conference featuring various contests from photography to public speaking with prizes awarded. Up next, it can be tough for new grads to find a job, especially during a pandemic. Ahead on AgweekTV, we'll see how ag majors are faring. And later, we'll tell you about an event to help soybean growers navigate a tough market.
Keep your equipment in the field when you need it most with parts from Titan Machinery. We carry a full line of high-quality Case IH parts designed for optimal performance and durability. We also carry alternative parts options at lower price points with rugged designs for a great mix of affordability and performance to fit a wide variety of makes and models. Contact your local Titan Machinery location today or shop online at www.titanmachinery.com. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH parts leader.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
Change is constant in the ag industry. Stay ahead of the change with the latest ag news and insights from experienced ag journalists with an Agweek membership. Get unlimited access to ag markets, tech trends, policy news and products, along with farm life insights, profiles, and more with Light Access. Upgrade to All Access and get unlimited access to all of our FCC news sites, along with your award-winning ag news. Become a member today at agweek.com/subscribe for the ag news you need.
The corn market took out some weather premium this week with the rains in parts of the Corn Belt, but the markets are still eyeing the extended forecast. Here's Andrew Whitmire with our AgriWeather Outlook.
The heat will stay mainly south of the northern plains and the upper Midwest. The jet is going to set up right along parts of the Dakotas here, and that's going to keep that heat just to the south. This high pressure is going to develop across the southern and deep south as it has already begun, and it's going to create what's called somewhat of a heat dome across the parts of the country here. And it's just that. It's a big dome of heat that will spread the air mass clockwise around the high pressure, and that'll bring hot weather, again, for areas south of this jet stream here. For us, though, in the Dakotas, upper Minnesota here, we're likely going to be dealing with some very pleasant summertime temperatures. In fact, we could even see some temperatures here getting up to right on that 70 to 80 degree mark. But again, that 90s to 100s will stay south of basically Nebraska southward, and that 90 degree weather will stay across parts of the Midwest, Great Lakes, and upper portions of the New England states. Again, for us back in the Dakotas and the Minnesota area here, 70s and 80s going to be expected through that July 19th through 25th time period for us. And going forward with that precipitation, with that kind of U-shape, that dip in the jet stream here, that's what's called the trough. And we could see a little bit active weather with that, some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms at times across the Dakotas and mid to upper plain states and portions of the upper Midwest here. We're talking on and off scattered showers and thunderstorms as we go throughout this next upcoming week. Drier weather, though, will be centered across the Pacific Northwest, and it will be a little bit more active as well, where that heat will bubble up some afternoon showers and thunderstorms across parts of the Great Lakes and parts of the East Coast area. Let's take a look at our rainfall map here from June 1st through July 15th here across the Dakotas and Minnesota. Check out Grand Forks, over 9.5 inches of rainfall over the past month and a half. 4 inches in Fargo, 4 inches down in Sioux Falls. Over on the Twin Cities, picking up 8 inches, and Duluth coming in at just under 4 inches of rainfall from June 1st through July 15th. And it is somewhat good news that we are receiving some moisture. We are still dealing with some drier conditions out across the board here. Hopefully we can begin to really work on that drought monitor here as we finish off the rest of the month. We are experiencing again some drier weather, though, across the deep south, the Four Corners, and across parts of California. Again, dealing with some of that drier conditions across the board. Going forward here as we round out July, going into August 1st here, very similar pattern looks to set up once again. Just a token shower thunderstorms can be expected the last week of July. Going forward into August, and then as we take a look at the temperature trend for this last week in July here, again, much of the country is going to experience above average temperatures. We're talking 80s, 90s, even a few 100s, not out of the question for a good chunk of the lower 48. The Dakotas here, Minnesota, eastern Montana, likely 80s, a few token lower 90s, and not out of the question here as we go throughout this final week of July. And again, some drought conditions will be expected to improve.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
2020 has started off where 2019 left off, with a lot of uncertainty and concern. Is your farming operation ready to take the volatility this year has to offer? Do you have a marketing plan in place to take advantage of opportunity? Are you finding it hard to separate the noise from the news? Talk to the professionals at Martinson Ag. We can help you make sound risk management decisions that will help your operation survive during these unusual times.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Be ready for the challenging field conditions you face with the Summers VRT Renegade. With on-the-fly adjustment, including blade angle from 0 to 19 degrees, the VRT Renegade gives you unprecedented flexibility for the field results you want, spring or fall. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about the VRT Renegade and North America's broadest line of tillage equipment from North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing.
We're going to talk today about a revolutionary auto steer product that you guys have developed.
We back one of these things in, it'll drain a 40-acre patch just within hours.
What can you tell us about what dairy farmers do to make sure that their animals are happy?
Their care is our primary concern.
Is there still time for producers to get storage bins up?
Absolutely. We still can definitely get something up and ready for corn harvest.
New college grads often face uncertainty as they look for that first job, but trying to find a job or starting one during a pandemic brings even more challenges. Emily Beale talked to a recent ag grad about the situation the class of 2020 faces.
What I do here at Ag Country is I'm a marketing content specialist.
Anna Lem graduated from NDSU in May with a degree in ag communications and a minor in animal science. She entered the job market with an impressive college resume.
Collegiate Farm Bureau, Agricultural Communicators of Tomorrow, the Saddle and Sirloin Club, and College of Ag Ambassadors.
Lem has several internships in the area of ag businesses, one of them here at Ag Country Farm Credit Services. It's where she landed a full-time job right out of college.
During the pandemic, it wasn't as much of an issue for me because I had this job lined up before everything kind of went crazy. And so I was fortunate in that way to have things kind of in place before a lot of things were starting to shut down.
But Lem says it's been challenging starting a job during a pandemic. Working from home takes discipline, and she hasn't been able to get to know her coworkers better and draw on their knowledge.
I work with some really amazing people, and I can learn a lot from them, and so that's what I miss, I think, the most.
Lem thinks her classmates looking for jobs in ag are faring a little better than other industries hit harder by COVID. Her advice for those still looking?
To just ask for help. It might feel a little bit weird, but people want to help you.
Our Emily Beale is also a brand new graduate. She joined us in June from The Ohio State University with a major in ag communications and a minor in equine science. So Emily, you have firsthand experience. You faced this yourself, didn't you?
Yes, it was something that I faced myself. I graduated in May of 2020, which was right in the middle of the pandemic, so it's something that's been very real for me lately.
So what about your other classmates? How have they been doing?
So I was really lucky that I was able to get a job here at Agweek before the pandemic really hit. A lot of my other colleagues and peers were not as lucky. So some of them are still looking, some of them have acquired jobs, but many businesses and companies are on hiring pauses just due to the uncertainty that the pandemic has given.
Now, from the classmates that you've talked to, do you feel like those that were agricultural graduates maybe had a little bit better chance or leg up than other graduates?
I do. I definitely think that the agricultural industry is used to tough times and we're used to pushing through, and I have noticed that a lot of companies and businesses in the ag industries have not gone on hiring pauses and just had continued to push forward, where other industries may have decided to go on hiring pauses.
So do you have any advice for the other 2020 graduates that don't have a job?
Absolutely. So definitely use your resources and definitely use your network. Let people know what you're looking for and let them know that you're looking for a job. And if you don't think that maybe you're qualified, there's no hurt in asking your network if you think that you're qualified for it, and just go ahead and apply.
Well, we're happy to have you on staff. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And that's Emily Beale joining us here. And if you want more information on this story, you can go to Agweek.com. Still ahead on AgweekTV, how soybean growers can get information and advice about marketing their crop in these trying times.
When planting season comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. This spring, keep your planters rolling with a user-friendly seed tender from Northstar Ag. We have seed tenders for every size operation from Meridian, Unverferth, and J&M. Northstar Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used inventory or give us a call.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems, the #1 Brock bin dealer in the U.S., is locally owned and provides turnkey convenience with factory direct product, complete design services, and in-house construction. Now's the perfect time to take advantage of discounts on Brock solid bins, grain dryers, and aeration systems. For more information, go online to gatewaybuilding.com or call 1-800-747-4499.
Agweek brings you timely agriculture news from field to fork in digital, print, and television. Fresh every week, join Jenny Schlecht from the Agweek editorial team and me, Al Windmill, from the sales and marketing team for a deeper dive into farm and ranch stories, along with guest interviews with personalities from the world of agriculture. If you're involved in farming, ranching, or agribusiness, the Agweek podcast is the show for you.
For Agweek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
AgweekTV Soy Insight, brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council.
These are challenging times for growers, so the North Dakota Soybean Council wants to encourage them to take part in a free marketing webinar. The mid-season soybean market outlook gives producers and the industry a timely look at the soybean markets and discussion of marketing strategies before harvest. The webinar is July 29th and 30th. You must register by July 24th. You can see the registration information on your screen. NDSU marketing experts Dr. Bill Wilson and Dr. Frayne Olson, along with several industry speakers, will discuss how the season is progressing and world demand. They'll discuss marketing strategies and risk management options as well for the 2020 soybean harvest.
This year, this could be more important than other years because with the markets the way that they are, no one knows how it's going to go. And so I think it'll be a really good idea to sit down and say, if things go this way, you can protect yourself this way. Just really look at some strategies in a year that is just really tough for everyone.
If you'd like more information, you can call the North Dakota Soybean Council. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. You have yourself a great and safe week.